Hello boys and girls, it's Miss Preller here with your Skills Block lesson of the day. For today's lesson, you're going to need a pencil and paper because we are going to be doing some sentence writing. Our target is I can use my writer's checklist to make sure I have all the important parts of a sentence. Let's start by going over our writer's checklist. So you may recognize this because Miss Schoonerman uses this writing checklist during her lessons. So here are some of the important parts. Using a capital letter. When we start a sentence, we want to always begin with a capital letter. We also want to make sure that any names in our writing start with a capital letter. The other important thing is that all the other letters are lowercase. I can use a finger space. So in between our words, we always put that finger down and make that space, because if we don't do that, it's going to look like one long word instead of separate words. I can sound out words, so that comes down to that tapping out skill. When we get to those words that we don't know, if it's not a sight word and we don't know when to snap, we got to tap it out. As you can see here, they tapped out the word dog, dog, and they wrote down all those sounds. And then the last one is I can use punctuation, so make sure you're ending with punctuation. That can be a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark, depending on what you are writing about. Here is our interactive writing song. Now let's all be writers, be writers, be writers. Now let's all be writers like the authors we love. Listen to the sentence, the sentence, the sentence. Listen to the sentence, we'll write as a group. So that song is telling us that we're going to be writing together. Today, however, I'm going to give you a little challenge. I'm going to have you try to write the sentence first, and then I will write it, and we can kind of check and see how you did. On the screen, boys and girls, we have a picture. What do you see happening? This connects to the book we read last week. Remember, Chip and Josh went bowling. The sentence is trying to say, Chip can hit one pin. Let's say that 5 times. Chip can hit one pin. 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 Now I want you to pause the video and try writing that sentence, Chip can hit one pin. When you press play on the video, I'm going to write it, and you can check to make sure that your sentence has all those important parts that we just talked about. You should have paused the video and tried writing the sentence, Chip can hit one pin. Now I'm going to write it, and you can check your sentence. Feel free to erase and make changes to your sentence if you notice that you had a mistake. So again, my sentence is, Chip can hit one pin. I'm starting with the name Chip, so I'm going to tap it out. Chip, Chip. Okay, now I'm ready to write, so I'm going to say ch again. I know that ch is 2 letters making one sound, CH. And because Chip is a name and it's the beginning of my sentence, I definitely need to start with a capital C. Ch, ch, CH. Now H, even when lowercase, is a tall letter, but it curves under that belly line. Ch, I. P. What letter says P? Chip. So I've got the word chip. I gotta think about what comes next. I like to reread and think about what's next. That really helps my brain. Chip can. The next word is can, so I'm gonna put a finger down. Sometimes we use 2. It's up to you, but it's gotta have a good space in between. Can is C-A-N. I didn't need to tap can out. I could have, but it's a sight word, so I have it memorized in a snap. Chip can hit. I don't think I'm going to fit hit up here, so I'm going to go down and over. And I got to tap hit out. It hits. H. I made lowercase h, but it's still a tall letter. I. T. Let me check it. It hit. It's good to check your words. Chip can hit one. One is a sight word that we have learned. It's spelled O-N-E. That might have been a little bit tricky for you because it doesn't sound out right. If I tried to tap it out, I would think it's W-U-N, and it is not. So, you gotta just kind of memorize one. Now, if you made a mistake, you can pause the video and write it correctly. Erase and write it correctly. Chip can hit one pin. Okay, I'm gonna have to tap pin out. In. Pin. Right? Finger space. P is a tail line letter. It goes down like that. I. Another I. N. The letter N. Chip can hit one pin. And what was that part of Miss Schoonerman's checklist? Oh yeah. End with a period. Now, boys and girls, it's time to check our writing against the writer's checklist to make sure it has all the important parts. Did you start with a capital letter in Chip? Point to the capital letter on your paper. Great. Do you have finger spaces between every word? A way to check that is you should have 5 words. If you're missing 5 words, you might be missing a finger space and have 2 words stuck together. When you got to a word you didn't know, did you tap it all out? There were a few words in there that you're not going to know in a snap, so I hope that when you got to those words, you used the tap it out strategy. And last, did you put a period at the end of your writing? Excellent. What part of your writing did you do well on your own today? So before you unpause the video and watched Miss Preller write it, what part did you get right? Was there a part of the writer's checklist that you missed? If there was a part of the writer's checklist that you missed and you had to go back and fix your writing, that's okay. What I like to do when I make a mistake is I like to set that as a learning goal for myself. So the next time I get to work, I'm going to say, okay, maybe I missed those finger spaces last time. I'm going to say to myself, okay, I want to try to use my finger spaces every time. I'm going to be thinking about it and using that strategy. So a mistake is just an opportunity to learn. And last, what did you do when you got stuck on a word that you didn't know? I hope that when you got stuck, you used that tap it out strategy. Well, boys and girls, that concludes our lesson for today. It's been great learning with you, and I can't wait to learn with you again tomorrow.